I've been needing some slips to go on the dresses that are a little bit sheer. The ones I have are extremely short, ready to wear, so it's time to make my own. I've made two with different types of knit fabric, swimwear fabric, Rayon Spandex. I've used fold over elastic, and I've done a little hack so that these are reversible. One is a V-neck, the other one is a rounded, and if you just swap them around, you can wear them both ways depending on the type of garment you're wearing on top. So it'll be a fun one. I'm showing you how to do this, so stay tuned. Hi sewing friends, I'm Karina from liftingpinsandneedles.com. Welcome to this channel that is all about sewing, limitless sewing. Thank you so much for joining me today. If you're always stopping by, I'm very grateful for your presence here and your feedback towards me. Your comments these couple of days have been really heartwarming for me, so I thank you so much for that. And if you're new to the channel here, you will see a lot of practical sewing footage, lots of tips and tricks, new ways to do things, a bit thinking out of the box. All in all, lots of content that could really inspire you or help you with your sewing at home. So if you think that's cool, go ahead and subscribe. Hit the notification bell so you don't miss out when new videos go live. In a couple of videos ago, in the last couple of weeks, I have mentioned more than once that I had a need to sew up some slips. Now, I do have two slips that are exactly the same. They are twins. I bought them at the same time, maybe in 2009 when I just got to New Zealand. They are very old. They are very short. And they are just very simple. I have this one that matches my skin tone sort of, and I use with light colored clothing. And the other one is a black one. And they are just mini slips. They are very short. And so for a lot of garments that aren't that sheer, they are still fine. They're perfectly fine. I wear them underneath some of my knit garments that are not that thick. So that this is my secret to getting away with making things out of Rayon Spandex, which is a fabric that is not that flattering and sometimes not even recommended to be used in some sort of styles because of this. It tends to just want to cling to you at every little lump and bump. So I sometimes still use Rayon Spandex because I'm always drawn to the prints. It is a fresh type fabric for me here because it's lighter weight and it's easy to find. I always find the most outrageous prints and the most beautiful stuff in that fabric. And wearing a slip underneath that is sort of tight fitting and short underneath is the perfect solution for the thinness of the fabric. So I'm a big fan of the slips, but I have other garments that are made out of woven fabrics, usually chiffon, some types of crepes that are extremely sheer, like extremely sheer. And these slips weren't really cutting it because they're just way too short. It looked like I was wearing some sort of bodycon thing with a sheer thing on top. And it's really not a look I am going for. So it was time to make some slips that were still fitted up here in the upper chest, all this area, but then a bit more A-lined and just a bit longer, you know, a bit more modesty. Thank you very much. I am in my 40s now. And, you know, I might have worn my little short slips before with comfort, but now I just feel like, no, I just don't want to do that anymore. And so if I can sew, why not? There is no way I'm going to find the slip that I need in ready to wear. The pattern I chose to use is the Luna Loungewear from Love Notions. This pattern actually has like 5 patterns in one because there's so many patterns in here. There's a camisole, cami top. Then there's a knee-length nighty. There is a bralette that can also be the shelf bra for this cami or this nighty. And then there's capri type pants and shorts. So lots of things to make pajamas, loungewear, you know, whatever you want to make with these patterns because it just depends on the fabric that you choose. So for the pants, the capris or the shorts, they recommend woven, lightweight woven fabrics, even quilting cottons, you know, shirtings, cottons, flannel, whatever you want that is going to be nice for you to wear around the house. And you can also make them with jersey fabrics, but then they recommend sizing down. And, you know, that is reasonable because, you know, jersey fabrics are going to stretch. So these are going to be super comfortable. They have optional inseam pockets and an elasticated waistband. Cool. So then for the bralette, the cami, and the nighty, you have a wide array of knit fabrics that would be appropriate to use. To finish all these areas here for the bralette, the camisole, and the nighty, there are 3 options there in the instructions. So you can make self-binding out of the same fabric you're using for these items. Although if you're using a really lightweight drapey fabric, that fabric is not appropriate for the bindings. So if you are using that type of fabric, which I am for one of them, then there's the option of using fold over elastic, and then there are instructions to also use lingerie elastic. So 3 ways to finish all these bits and bobs here on the top. Now I have been very fortunate to find online fold over elastic, and I thought I would never find any. So I bought a lot of meters. I mean, not that many, maybe like 5 meters of black fold over elastic that I thought would be super appropriate. My first time using this type of material. So exciting for me because I get to have a new experience in sewing, which is always exciting. And I get to make myself this type of garment that I've never made myself before. So that's really cool for me. There is an option of adding the bralette as a shelf bra on these garments, on the camisole and the nighty. Now, why didn't I do that? I have actually removed shelf bras from other things that I've bought ready to wear that have them. And it's because my bust is too large for that. I mean, I can't wear a shelf bra with my bust because it won't be supportive enough. I need a proper bra, like I need a bra with like thick straps and the wire, like I need a bra. So having these types of garments with a shelf bra and then having to wear a bra underneath can be super uncomfortable. But I think if you had a smaller cup size, like an A or a B, I think it would be nice and supportive, and maybe you could get away with just wearing it like that. I wish it would be so comfortable to not have to wear these types of bras that I need. But that's the way I am. So I won't be making garments with shelf bras with the hopes of not actually wearing a bra, because I have to wear a bra anyway. So, you know, I would make a bralette separately, like a type of like sports bra, but then I would add cups in there and like 2 layers, some mesh, some type of support thing to have a more like structured bra. I would try that later on, but in conjunction with these garments, it's not an option that is right for my body. This pattern comes from sizes extra small to 3XL, and that'll go up to a bust of 49.5 and a hip of 51.5. And the intended fit for this garment is that it's 2 inches of negative ease around the bust, and then there's about 2 inches of positive ease at the waist and hips. So it is exactly what I was looking for, nice and fitted here on the top, and then just nice and loose and sort of A-lined. The pattern piece does sort of flare out a little bit. So that is exactly what I wanted, so that I don't end up wearing some tight bodycon thing underneath my she garments, you know? I noticed that with my ready-to-wear slip, I have a round neckline here on the front, and I have a V neckline also. So none of these are either the front or the back, and I've been using them either or depending on how the neckline is or what the shape of my neckline is of what I'm wearing on top. So for example, this is the Vivace Dolman from Love Notions, and it has a V. I would wear it with the V, because if I wear it with the round, it might end up showing a little bit, and I don't like that. So I've always found that super practical. And I have some cami tops as well that have the same feature, round and a V, and you can wear them, you know, whatever you want. This is stretch fabric, you know, the back and the front are sort of the same. There's no darts, you know, you can wear them this way or that way. It's not that you can't do it. This is the pattern piece that you use for the front and the back. You can see that I've drawn with a curved ruler 2 lines that are just a little bit lower. This one is 5/8 of an inch lower. This one's 1.5 inches lower. So it's like a soft V. I don't want a plunging V. I still want modesty. Just a little bit lower than this original one. That's like more rounded. So I did that. I had a think because I hadn't made up my mind, and then I ended up cutting the lower V. And it's not a VV, it's not a sharp V on the fabric, it's just like rounded like that. So that means I can still finish it with fold over elastic, normally and then do a little trick on the back that you're gonna see next. So let's hop into Up Close and So Personal, where you're going to see how these came to be, how I used the fold over elastic, and I'm excited about how it turned out. Being my first time, I am really stoked about them. This is the fabric I'm using for the black one. You can see it's heavier. I would say this is a medium weight, and I just want to show you the stretch. So I have 4 inches of fabric there, and we'll see how much it goes to. Look, this has like what, 70% stretch. It's really stretchy while being quite structured, so I think it'll give me really nice compression. The other one is Rayon Spandex. Now this, I'm not even going to test the stretch because it's going to stretch loads. The pattern doesn't suggest using the self fabric to make bindings because it would just be super flimsy. It'll stretch out of shape. It just won't hold. You could make self bindings out of this fabric. It would work because it's got a really good recovery and it's more structured. So I have fold over elastic, which is what's recommended for more drapier ones, like thinner drapier ones like this. And this is the fold over elastic I have. It's like velvety on both sides. It's super soft, and you can see the middle of it there. It's extremely easy to fold because there's like a change in the elastic there in the middle. So I'm going to be using this black one for this brown one. I think that's fine. And for the black one. And I'm not going to be making self bindings because I have fold over elastic, so I might as well. And look, I got a lot. I had this off-white ITY fabric, and I had bought it to make a slip, but actually when I put it up in the light, it's really transparent still. It's really see-through. So it's not going to work for a slip, because if I'm wearing something sheer on top of another sheer thing, you'll still see my underwear. So it's not going to work. It's a lovely fabric, you know. This will work for anything else. Could be like a nice cowl neck top because of the drape is so beautiful with this fabric. So unfortunately I won't be making this as a slip, although it was my plan initially. I've been playing around with the fold over elastic and just wrapping it around some random piece of scrap. I want to use that one, number 8, which is a zigzag, so it does 3 stitches there, 3 stitches there, like that. That works really well for these types of elastics. These are the settings I ended up liking: 2.5 width and 2.5 length. And it looks like, I don't know if you can see, that's how it looks like. So it's not too big, not too little. It will allow everything to stretch nicely. This is one of the necklines, the rounder one. I'm gonna cut a piece of this elastic that is slightly shorter. I mark the middle of the neckline and the middle of the elastic there. And now I cut my elastic 90%, so only 10% shorter than the neckline. I don't want this to pucker or look ugly. And I mean, this is already smaller than my body anyway, so I think it'll be okay. And I've just folded it around the raw area there. And now I'm going to go ahead and sew with that zigzag, and we'll see how it goes. This is a brand new experience for me, you know, I have never done this before. So I'm just sharing my process. So the elastic is only slightly smaller than the neckline here. So this V isn't a sharp V, it's just a really slight V shape, but not with the sharp point there. So you can see how the elastic curves there. That's how it looks. I think it looks nice. It's nice and neat, and nothing actually fell out like from underneath the folded elastic. So that's why I put so many pins. And so this will just allow the neckline to stretch with me. And now to finish this V, it's not an actual V, I'm going to fold it right sides together, find the middle here of this neckline there, and then by hand I'm just going to sew like a little diagonal thing like that. I don't want to do it by machine because it's such a tiny little bit there, and I really want the edges of the elastic there to match, and I think it'll just be easier doing it by hand. Okay, so I did that little stitch right there, and now I have a V on the front, as you can see, right there in the center, and this is going to be worn to the front or to the back depending on what I'm wearing on top. This other neckline that's just more rounded on the top is just even going to be easier. I'm going to do that in the same manner. I'm going to do it the same for my Rayon Spandex version. I've already got everything pinned into place, you know. I thought I'd show you my ready-to-wear cami that I was inspired for this two type of neckline thing. So you can see one's higher and rounder, the other one's just a little bit lower and has a V. And all they've done is sew the elastic at the back there, and that's what I've done with mine. Now this cami has a similar shape here, like the amount of the arm side raised and the neckline to the Luna cami. It's quite similar. So I'm going to take this as a guide of how long I want these to be here. So from each of these tips there, I measured, and there's 13 centimeters up or 26 centimeters around there. I'll put the inches there. So that's what I'm going to measure. I'm just going to keep using the elastic to the sides, and this one has been sewn completely there on the side. So I'm going to do this exact technique with my slip. You can see the top part of my cami here. This is the rounded bit. I've got the V neckline there, and I've actually got wrong sides together here, and the side seams have just been pinned there. I haven't sewn those yet. So I'm going to grab my fold over elastic and just start wrapping it around the arm side area there, and I'm going to stretch it, make it slightly smaller in that area, not that much. But when I get to this point here, this is where the little straps are going to start. So when I get to that point there, I'm going to measure 26 centimeters of my elastic here, and that will become the strap, and that will sort of be loose. And then I'm going to grab the other neckline over here and start pinning down there towards the other side. So I'm just going to show you roughly, although I will measure properly, but this is how it's going to be. It'll be one continuous piece of elastic that will finish the armhole there, the arm side. Well, it's a partial arm side. Then the rest will be the strap that goes on your shoulders, and that for me is going to measure 26 centimeters, and then that will continue wrapping from here to the other arm side there. So I'm going to measure well, pin it all, and then show you. Okay, so everything's pinned. This is one of the armholes, and then the elastic, I've just continued folding it onto itself there. This is what will be the strap. And for my length, for what I like, this is 26 centimeters from that edge there to that edge there. And it's just mimicking my ready-to-wear cami that fits me well. So once that's folded there, you reach this other tip there, fold over it there. It forms like an intersection, and then it just continues. So basically, I'm going to sew continuously from there. I'll have a section that's just elastic, and then I'll catch this side of the slip, and I'll do that on both sides. This is where the elastic is going to finish that neckline there that was raw up to this point in there. So it'll just cover it, fold over it as per the name of the elastic, and then I'll just sew over it. As I sew this elastic, I won't be like stretching it or doing anything to it. I'm just sewing it closed there with a zigzag stitch, so I'm not going to be pulling it or anything. Okay, so you can see one of these sides is done. It's super neat, it'll stretch with me. This is the length that I like, and it'll stretch also a little bit, and then it finishes off there. So I've got all the other side to do, same thing, and then I'll flip these right sides together because I've got the wrong sides together at the moment, and then I'll just serge the edges. So you can see how these have been finished. That partial armhole, the neckline, and then the elastic that forms a strap. It's all done. Side seams haven't been done, so I'll just put these right sides together and serge. This is how it looks serged inside, so that's just up to there. And I made sure to keep those elastics even so that the sides are even there. But then I have this length of excess serger thread that I want to neaten up so it doesn't unravel. I have these humongous needles that I try to like thread everything through. So there I just try to like undo part of this chain type thing. I try to trim them so that they're the same length, and then I'll just grab them all and thread them because this has a large opening, and then I have them there, and then I can just tuck this tail back in there, and that tidies up that area there and it's not gonna come apart, you know. And then you can just trim that excess. This is my swimwear one. I love it. It falls differently. It's much more structured. It feels really nice on the body. It feels like there's a little bit of compression going on, like a little bit of support. And you know, when you wear something that weighs absolutely nothing, like my chiffon dresses, having this will make me feel like I'm dressed. Okay, the other slip I had was so light on itself, I could barely feel it. And then putting on something that is like wearing nothing, I sometimes felt a little bit naked, although I wasn't, I was fully clothed. But with this one, I feel like I actually have a garment, and it's not transparent at all. It's totally opaque. You can't see anything through the light. I feel really good in this one. And you can see that I've got the V there. And then on the other side, I've got the original neckline, the rounded one. And look, on this back one, I could have made the photo row elastic a little bit shorter, but it's all a learning curve for me. Next time I use this, it will be better. And actually the second one I made is better, you know, because usually the more times you do something, it turns out better. Even the second time can already be better. This one is lying okay, and you can see that there's that V there that is a trick V because it's just sewn on the back. And I mean, that is how my slip is. It's exactly like that. And the cami I've shown you in the footage. So super cool. The way I finished it by sewing the side seams last, serging them, I found simple and easier. And I love how this is. I just love it so much. It's so nice and like, I'm just so happy. So I thought long and hard whether to model these for you, and I was like, oh, I just don't know. But then I thought, you know what? This isn't see-through, there's no lace, there's nothing sexy about this. It's just a slip that I made out of swimwear fabric that I could also wear like a cover-up over a swimsuit if I wanted. I wouldn't wear it out in the street like a dress for sure. So let's go ahead and see how it fits. So I'm not showing you any styling. You don't care what my shoes are because this is not actual clothing. But I like the length there above the knee. It's a much better length than the slip I have. Slightly A-line, so it's not like a bodycon type thing underneath. That's how it looks at the back there. And I've got the V shape facing the front right now, but I can just switch it around and have the round one on the front if I want. That's how that neckline looks. And if I switch it, this one's going to be much lower on the back and the other one just a little bit higher on the front. But I prefer this one. I prefer this little V one, how it looks better. This is a neckline there. That little V was just a cheat one. Just sew a little bit behind there and that's fine. It's still modest. I'm not showing anything back there. I could wear this like a swimsuit cover up. I wouldn't wear it as a dress. It's swimsuit material, so I could like wear this on top of a swimsuit to the pool, but I like it more like a slip. Okay, so I've swapped it to the round neckline there. You can still see the shape is a little bit higher, it's rounder, it's nice. And at the back is just gonna look lower now because there's that V there. But otherwise it's the same. It looks the same, it fits the same, just this is different, and I really like having the choice to be swapping them around.
What can I do? Time flashed by and I woke up on the other side of the moon. The sun
Now about these types of things that ready-to-wear clothes have, these sliders things, I'm not a fan. Even when I've worn them with ready-to-wear, they annoy me. I can feel them. And actually, when I set it to the length that I like for my body, I never adjust it again. So I actually like that these are a fixed length, that I don't have those sliders. I actually do like that. And even if I could find sliders, which I can, I'm not missing them. Like, I don't feel like I'm missing out, you know? So I'm happy with this length. I know that for garments that are sold for, you know, a whole bunch of people, these lengths on our bodies can be super different. And I can totally see why these would be adjustable in clothes that you buy. But when I'm sewing for myself, I know the length that I like. I know my length. So why would I want to adjust that in any other circumstance? Why would I want it higher or lower? Yeah, so I'm not missing out with the sliders. I don't miss them at all. I made a brown one. I still wanted to make two. I do have items that are brown. I had a small piece of brown Rayon Spandex left from when I made the Forte dress, the one that has a chiffon front. And you know, this is going to be perfect to wear under that and other things as well. And also I wanted to test how Rayon Spandex feels. As I said, I can find this quite easily in all sorts of colors, and wouldn't it be amazing to have a bunch of slips in a whole bunch of colors, because I am a huge dress wearer. So I used the black fold over elastic. I made them the same as the other one, and you know, you can see that the tension on the elastic is much better here. And it was because it was the second time I've done it, and I had a better feel for it and how much to stretch it. You know, it just turned out better. Nothing different about this one. I have serged the bottom and I didn't hem it. So this is drapier. It flows really nice. I wouldn't want to like interrupt that nice drape that this has hanging just serged. If I fold it up, it'll get bulkier and it'll just hang different. You know, I don't know if you know what I mean. I'm not being lazy, I promise. I love how it feels on my body. I could not wear this out as a dress or outerwear at all. I would not. I could sleep in it. I could wear it around the house for sure. This is how the Rayon Spandex one looks. Same length. It just feels different on. It feels nice on. I like both. For different purposes, although I think this one's going to be just limited to like sleeping in it or using it like a slip. It feels really nice on, and I love having both of them. It actually feels lighter on. It feels really nice on, and this is definitely something I wouldn't wear on its own. It will be a slip. Plus, I'm not a fan of the contrasting black elastic. I would love to have brown elastic, but you know, I still did the V neckline here, so that's the same, and the round neckline there is at the back. It'll be super helpful for some things that I want to throw on top that have like the brown tones, you know. I really like it. So these are my types of loungewear for hot climates. The weather is cooling down a little bit, where I can at night put covers on myself and snuggle up, and I love that. I miss that. You know, I'll be making like cozier loungewear in a couple of weeks, but still these two I can perfectly wear around the house, sleep in them, just wear them around, and also use them as slips. And multi-purpose items are always a good idea in my mind. So I have let you know the other day that Love Notions is having a 40% off site-wide sale at the moment for Mother's Day, and that finishes on the 10th, on Sunday. So this is a great pattern. I would recommend. There are so many pieces there. Now that this fits, and I know I'm gonna make this so many times. I hope you enjoyed this video. I will see you again next time, very soon, with more sewing. Bye.